just who we are.
How would you want people to remember you? Paige looking like I don't care.
I don't.
I'm close to that. It's certain people. Like, I want my kids to always remember that I love them and that I sacrifice just about anything for them. I want my mother and my dad and my siblings to know. I want my love to know. Like y'all to know. But like out in the world, remember that video that Bella sent the other day? Like people, like they only gonna remember you for a certain amount of time. Like my kids, like they not gonna know me, and after a while, I won't be spoken about. The people at my job, if I leave right now, they may talk about me for a few months, but then it's gonna be y'all remember that lady who used to work? You know her name. The lady who wore swimming shoes to school that time. They not even gonna remember my name. So,
Yeah.
but within the people in my circle, I definitely want it to be known and remembered that I do, like, I genuinely love my people and that I genuinely want what's best for everybody. And I support all of y'all. So, like, even with, I was thinking today, I had a job opportunity and it fell through. But I still want, because it's my family. I still want for her to be successful. So I'm like, I need to shoot her a text message to see how everything is going. Just to make sure that everything is good, because I still want for her to be successful, even if I'm not a part of the success. If I'm not a part of that puzzle, but everybody else, you already know. Paige,
Listen, people.
famous words. F them people.
Yeah, I don't like even y'all. Like even I don't care because people gonna remember you how they remember you anyway. No matter how hard you work on creating like this certain persona of how you want to be perceived for other
Uh
people,
oh.
it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really doesn't because how you, Bella, feel about me or how you perceive me is not the same as Nika perceived me. So it
correct.
doesn't matter what picture
It's all
I
perspective.
paint and how I present myself, you gonna perceive me however it is. So you kind of wasting time trying to put
A
yourself
piece.
in like this box. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 it's like a waste of even for your kids because the same way one of my kids feel about me is not the same that the other one feel
Yeah.
about me. So in reality, it's just
And then I think you have to think about what's your motive behind it as well. So yeah.
do you want to be remembered because you want to prove something? Do you want to be remembered because like you say like all of those things? What do you want? I
Mhm.
don't really care to be remembered. Maybe I should just stop right there. I don't really care to be remembered. I want you to know me for who I am while I'm here and savor like those moments like while I'm here, and when I'm gone I want you to be able to go on with your life. I want you to be able to do those things because I'm gone. Remembering me and dwelling on what I think that's like that's just how I feel about it. Like
yeah.
think about me now, not when I'm gone.
Mhm.
Because
For
I'm
me, I
gone.
have like I want, and it's not even a deep thing. Like I want my kids to know that, like I'm fun. Like they call me the fun killer because I'm like no, you can't
Yeah, I
go. Who gonna
know.
be there? What's the plan? Who are the adults? And no, y'all not going there because I don't know those people, and it's really to protect them. But on the same thing, like what you were saying, like when you gone, you gone. You don't care if they remember you or whatever, or we remember you. I have moments that it is very, just having memories of like my grandmother. I used to have pictures of everybody that I love that meant something to me, even if I didn't mean something to them. Something they meant, I meant some, they meant something to me. I'd have them with me at work. Why? Because you have moments, or I have moments where it's like, man, I don't feel it. Like, I want to give up. And I'll see my grandmother's obituary and I'm like, she didn't teach me that.
This
Or I
one
see
here
my
for.
kids' pictures and be like, this is who I'm doing it for. Or I look at my
Yeah.
mom's pictures like I'm making her proud right now. And some, of course, I should be able to just look at myself and say, I'm doing this for me. But sometimes just that's not enough. I know I'm doing it for me, but I need
Yeah.
something extra because if at the end, if it wasn't, if I ain't had kids, like I said before, I would have been left my career. I would have been touring the world. Your turn, your turn. Like because I could be sleeping on your couch and her couch, and I got a backpack, not a door backpack, but I got a backpack, and I'm in my car. I go take a shower at the gym. I got a $10 member, a $20 membership with Planet Fitness, and I'm just driving across the world. Like my life would be so different. I'm not saying that's what I want my life to be, but can you imagine if the only thing I really had to worry about was whether I had a
It's
tune
you.
up on my car?
Those memories are for you.
They are
Like
for
that's for
me.
Yeah.
you to get through. That's what I'm saying. So
So
I
the
shouldn't
memory
be
of
worried about creating memories for people to remember me by. I should be worried about creating moments. And then those people will use those moments as memories for them. You
so that's
understand what I'm saying?
synonymous. Yes, but that's synonymous. Creating those moments are creating those memories.
But it's
Without
not for
those
me to
moments,
create memories
you're
for
making the
you.
moments so that they can have the memory.
But that's what not where my mind is. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not my mind saying, what do I want to be remembered for? What am I
Yeah.
what am I doing in this life so that I can be remembered for? That's not what I'm doing. I'm living life and I'm creating memories, but regardless, it's not to be something to be remembered for. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I understand, but I definitely, for my kids, I definitely am strategic about the things that we do so that they can have certain memories. I never want them. I remember I said to someone, we got into it because of something that was said to my son, and I said, my goal is for them not to heal from their childhood. So a lot of the things that I do is so that they don't have to. So and this incident that we're discussing, that's something that I'm going to have to go through with my child because what you said and what you did was inappropriate and uncalled for. So like I want to make sure that the things that I do, the things that I say, the activities that I present to my children, the things that we do together are creating memories for them so that when they get older and they have kids, they can say, I remember doing this with my mom and we had fun. Let
Yeah.
me do this with
Yeah.
my kid because they might enjoy it. Just like
Yeah.
I have memories with my grandmother that she wake me up. All the other kids in the house sleep. She wake me up. Sweet pea, let's you want something sweet? And we go in the kitchen. It's just me and her, and we had those times. So as an adult, when I became a mother, I made sure that I had times with my kids that was just me and one, and that it was called Mommy and Me Day. So it'll be just me and my
Yeah.
son, just me and my daughter, and then it'll be all three of us together. But I had to make sure because of her, I knew I needed to make sure that that child had their individual time with me doing whatever they wanted to do or whatever I wanted to expose them to see if they, just so they might like this, they might not. So that's very important to me with when it comes to my children, when it comes to my nephew. So that I'll definitely want to be remembered a certain way by my children. And you're right, no matter what I do, they're going to perceive me how they perceive me. But my goal is to make sure that I give them what I in my mind wanted to give them, and they can perceive it however they want. But I know that what I wanted, I did my best.
I think when we first started the question, I was thinking like, just the generic, I'm a sweet person, I'm this and that, da 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 da. But then I thought about, as Paige was talking, at the end of the day, no matter what I try to present, people are going to see things in a different manner as well, based on one, um, where they're coming from. Their lens is not the same as my lens,
Yeah.
and um, and sometimes just things get lost in translation. If they don't know where I'm coming from and things of that nature, it may not be received in that same manner. Also, you have to think about where why you're doing it. And so then when I thought about it in that manner, I don't think it's the same as like how Paige was saying, it's not that I want to be remembered in a certain manner. I want an impact. So you ain't got to remember my name and this and that. But yeah, of course, my kids, my family members, my loved ones. But you want something that changed your touch, changed that person. And you never know, that trickle down effect affects people in a different way. It was just a random, and this may not be a big deal to anybody else, but I got a text from a friend one day, and she was saying that she I crossed her mind, and she had shared something with a coworker. Me and this friend ain't seen each other in about a decade, but we still really cool. But she said, "Remember how I used to be at work, and when people talking about, oh, I don't got no money, I'm broke, and you always be like, well, I'm between blessings." Now I heard this saying, somebody else told me this, but they never heard it before, and so with me saying this to them, they related to somebody else, and it was like, you know what? That is a good way to perceive things. You don't have to say think negative, even if if it's true, but you don't have to say it like that. You know what I'm saying? So that felt good to me. That it wasn't a big deal, but it's the fact that low key I was remembered. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's something to be remembered by. Or with my kids, when they come back and say something that it's like, wow, you didn't even think that that's something, it was a big deal to them. Like y'all know, my kids are both in college now, and we all struggle with student loans, these not all, but a lot of us struggle with student loan debt and stuff these days. And from the time my kids came up, I was preaching, oh, we're not taking loans, but it's untrue. It was a joking manner, but I was serious. I wasn't signing no loans. So if I had to work a second job or something, we would have figured it out, but I knew I wasn't going to do a loan. But my kid was saying a speech when she was graduating from undergrad, and she was like, from the time I can remember, my mom preached X, Y, and Z, and so I'm graduating debt free and going to above this. And I'm like, so at the end of the day, it's not about, I guess, remembering me per se, but feeling like I touched someone. So by touching my kids, that's affecting my legacy. By touching a coworker, that might touch somebody else somewhere else, but you can't just be here just to be here.
I guess just to like clarify, like clean up the original statement. People are gonna remember you however they remember you, right?
Yeah.
My job is not to, well, I feel like I'm not here to paint a specific picture as to how I'm remembered. My job is to be authentically who I am, be the best version of who I am, teach the lessons
Yeah.
and make an impact of who I am, and then allow my memory to speak for itself.
Yeah.
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 Like if you do what you're supposed to do, not to like be strategic about creating a memory, just to do and be who you are.
Yeah.
And then your memory will last. I guess that because your kids are gonna, of course, you live with your kids, you teach lessons or whatever, they're gonna remember you based on certain experiences of certain things or whatever. But at that moment, you're not, where I'm not trying to create a last, like, oh, I want them to remember this. I am just teaching them and living life to the best of what I can do, and then those things create memories. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Hopefully.
say.
I was thinking,
Yeah,
like,
hopefully.
while y'all were talking, I was thinking, like, when we do things, when I do things for other people, oftentimes, even though it's helpful to other people, it's kind of selfish for me, you know? So, like, because it feels good to me. So it's not, I'm not doing something to hurt somebody and that feels good. No, I'm doing something that's thoughtful and considerate, but it feels good to me. So I used to, and one, maybe I'll do it again. I don't, probably not. I don't know. But I used to make breakfast. I used to get up early in the morning and make breakfast, homemade waffles, like breakfast, before work. And my kids used to have a hot homemade breakfast every morning when they were younger, and I would take some to work with me. So I would take some for me, and I would take extra because somebody's hungry. Somebody's always hungry at work. So I'd be like, "Hey, you ate breakfast? No, you hungry? I made waffles. You want some waffles and bacon and eggs? So, like, I know for me, if somebody did that for me on the day that I'm hungry, I would be so grateful because there's so many times that I didn't pack lunch and somebody else. Like, I remember being on Facebook, and I think I said this before. I remember being on Facebook, like, man, I'm starving. And my friend was on Facebook, and he saw that I said I was starving, and he came to me and was like, hey, you want this? Like, I share my lunch with you, and that made me feel so good as well. So just that gesture that he gave, it's
Yes.
just like paying it forward. So things
And you
like that
remembering
matter
him
to me.
still to this day.
Huh?
And you remembering him to this day.
Yeah, right, right. And I remember one day I was I was stopping on the way to work to get breakfast from Burger King. And the car, and I never thought this would happen to me. The car in front of me paid for my food. So I was
Mm.
like, but it was nobody behind me for me to pay it for. And I'm like, well, it's not like I've never done that. But, you look for opportunities to be nice. Now, I have no idea who that person is. I could look at that person right now and never know who it was. But that made an impact on me.
No, I was just saying sometimes we're sewing into our need as well because it's like I think it was you and I was talking about something one day and I was like, I felt kind of alone and people don't reach out to me. And you was like, do you reach out to others? And that's it kind of hit. It's like, yes, you want to be remembered by certain things and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, what you need, you got to give to somebody else too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
don't know
the
what's
same
going on.
thing. Say that again.
And we don't know always know what's going on in someone else's life.
Because we
They might
all
be
all
going
of us
through
are struggling. We all struggling. We all tired. We all need.
yeah.
But that goes
You
to
just
like
you
my mom.
compartmentalize it.
Yeah. My mom, I remember her saying when you feel your worst is when you should look your best. Because you need something.
You know how, and I just got this discovery like yesterday, but I know now when it is time for me to move out of a certain energy, a certain space, a certain, like it's time for me to go when I begin to, one, act out of self,
Mm.
like my true self,
Yeah.
who I am and how I walk through the world. And when I allow other energies to allow me to act out of self,
Mm.
I know that it is time. And when it's consistent, like when I am no longer able to separate myself from the overall energy in the room and walk in my full power, I know that it's time for me. Like, this energy is no good for me anymore. This
Yeah.
space is no good for me anymore. Because then I don't have complete control no more. Because I'm
Yeah.
allowing everything else to control the way I think, how I move, how I,
It's
you
a
know what I mean?
transference of energy.
Yeah.
It's time for me to go.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
and that's it, it affects you in a way that you don't realize. You want, why am I so tired all the time?
Yeah.
Why is
Yes.
everything getting on my nerves? Why
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
this small thing making me so angry? Why is this, when all of those things, because you have to pay attention to your life, things always happen for a reason. And
Yeah.
all of these things, because you should not be like drained every day going to a place that you like, that's just not how you're supposed to feel. And
Yeah.
when it starts to affect you in that way, it's time for you to shift that energy
Yeah.
however you see fit to shift it. Everybody can't shift it by going to, another job or going to, but in some way you have to shift the energy,
Yeah.
whether it's moving your desk or moving wherever you are in that space. You've been in this space too long, you have to shift that energy. Even in your home, you start to see things in your home and it's like stale, and you're not feeling like home is home. You have to
You
shift that
have to
energy.
move. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to shift it, because if not, it don't get better and you
It
just
doesn't.
sit in that.
You're right. You have to burn your sage or whatever you burn in your house. You got to open them windows, let that energy move around, move some
You have
furniture. You got to do
to.
something. But even within yourself, if it's just you by yourself and you start feeling, feeling that shit, you got to get up and move yourself. You got to get up and move your body. Because if not,
Yeah.
it's like it's all just on you and it's all just in you. And you got
Even
to move.
even how you, and I know it seems like, girl, you talking crazy, but it's really true. The way you drive to work, most people drive the same exact way to
Autopilot.
work every single day. They go to the same coffee shops, they go to the same, everything is repetitive. So you in that stalemate. You have to shift the energy. You have to shift, go a different way, find another route, go to a grocery store somewhere else. You have to shift that energy in your life, because if not, nothing is going to change.
And,
Nothing.
and you know what? Staying in that same route. First of all, you setting yourself up to get kidnapped because
They could definitely
you
try
don't
to
know
help.
who following you. They know
For
she's
real,
gonna
for
come
real.
through at 6:05. She's gonna be at this red light. But the other thing is going to different places, going to a different coffee shop, or going to a different grocery store, going to a different whatever. You never know who you're gonna meet at that different whatever. That
Shifting
might be your
energies.
next business partner. That might be your next job. That might be your next whatever. You never know. You have to get out of your
Yes.
comfort zone. And when you're
Yes.
comfortable, I know when you're comfortable is when you're in the most trouble. Because comfort is not
Ooh,
the best place to be. And
say
I
that.
was, I, I keep
It
getting,
feels good though,
it feels
because
so
you
good.
know
It
what to
feels so
expect.
good.
You know what,
Yes.
like, you
But
know.
you,
Clarity.
but you know what? Even when it feels bad, it feels good because at least you
It's
know
the
what bad it
clarity.
is. It's that known bad. It's that
Yes.
known toxicity.
What is it? It's the, at least it's the devil I know, or the something
Yep,
like
Yeah.
that. It's a
yep,
saying.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I was leaving my last job, I'm packing my stuff up, and my one of my bosses came and she congratulated me, and she said, "You sure you want to leave?" Like, yeah, yeah. I've been here for a long time. I'm sure. And she said, "Well, at least you know what you got here. You don't know what you
Hmm.
get when you go over there."
It's a quote about fear too. Fear is the something, 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 a good one. I wish I could remember it, but I can't.
It's the something,
But
something,
But
it's a
something.
quote about fear. Fear is the destroyer of dreams and the killer of ambitions. And then another one, fear kills more dreams than failure ever would.
mm,
Wow.
I agree, definitely, definitely,
To both of them. It
yeah.
is. Because fear stop you from doing everything.
Listen,
Yeah.
the dress that I made, right? This lady said, no, I'm sitting in a nail shop making my dress, right? And older man came in selling bags. He said like, and he was like Jamaican. He from the islands, heavy accent. He said, "You crocheting?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What you making?" I said, "A dress." And then the lady heard him. You know, heard our conversation. She was like, "Do you make hats?" I said, "No." She said, "You only crochet for you?" I said, "Yeah." You know that was a sale. But what stopped me? Because I'm afraid that I'm gonna mess up. And I'm gonna mess up. That's life. You mess up. So I think being remembered, we're all gonna be remembered. However we're remembered. So just
Regardless
live
if
your
it's
best
good or
life.
bad.
Live your best life.
That.
But you know what? The crazy thing is, it's like I've told Bella this like so many times. I don't want people to think. People gonna think. It don't matter what you do. They either gonna like it or they gonna hate it. But they're gonna come to their own conclusion no matter what. Even if what you did was heartfelt. Somebody gonna say she did that because XYZ.